Good.
All right, this is exciting. This is me a while ago. Had some pain going on, and I used food primarily. When I got in my teens, I used alcohol and a few other addictions smattered around to deal with my pain. This is Roy Nelson, before and after. In 1976, he hit bottom. He was hopeless in every way. Panic attacks, phobias. He used to hire a doctor, a registered nurse to travel with him to give him IVs of Valium or sodium pentothal because his terror was so bad. He was an alcoholic and obviously had problem with food. He was morbidly obese. He got up to 275 pounds. He was only 5'9". This woman, Celia Berman, came to us 7 years ago, I think, and she mentors with Roy, and I'm going to have her tell her story now.
Hi, my name is Celia Berman, and yes, that was me 7 years ago. And I had struggled with my weight from when I was, I struggled with my weight from when I was very young. When I was in elementary school, my pediatrician put me on a diet, grapefruit diet, and gave me amphetamines. And that started sort of the weight loss cycle. So I would gain weight, lose weight, up and down. I had tried every single diet you could think of, spiritual programs, 12-step programs, therapy, you name it, exercise programs, I did it. And I could lose the weight, but I could only keep it off for a matter of a month or two before I started gaining the weight back again. So here I was, seemed successful in my career, but you know, that's what I looked like, so you could tell I was miserable. I was dying inside. And I met Roy and Tricia, and it was for the first time someone understood me like I was never understood before. And I had panic attacks as well and depression, and I was healed from all of it. So I lost over 100 pounds, healed from the depression and the panic attacks, and my life has been amazing. Everything keeps opening up for me. I'm making more than I have ever made because of the work that I've done with Roy. My life keeps getting better and better, and I'm so grateful for this and for this method. And it's a program that if someone is struggling and they've tried everything else, this makes a difference. So thank you.
So, I want to tell you about a few other people and their experiences. They're not here to tell their story. They live in other parts of the world. Harold is somebody who was suffering. He was taking up to 100 Vicodin a day, 200 actually Vicodin a day. He was a school teacher here in Beverly Hills, if that makes you feel better. He was suffering with many other addictions. He'd been in and out of 12-step programs, sober living homes. Nobody could help him, and my husband was able to, and he's been free from all of his addictions for about 15 years now. Vicki is somebody who was hopelessly bulimic. She couldn't stop binging and purging. She had a lot of pain. She was anesthetizing with her eating disorder, and she's been free for about 20 years now. She's got a beautiful family. Debbie is anorexic. She was trying to get her heart to stop by starving herself and just drinking tea and NutraSweet. And she's free. She gave birth to twins about 4 years ago, which for an anorexic to give birth to twins is nothing short of a miracle. She's healthy. She's a healthy weight. She's a healthy woman. Beautiful. David is somebody, I don't have his picture. He was a porn addict. Couldn't stop. He crashed his wife's computer twice on account of his porn addiction. I think that's kind of funny. But anyway, he was sober for many years in Alcoholics Anonymous, but he had this porn addiction and a food addiction as well. So, you know, Oftentimes people's addictions will bleed into other things. They stop one and they start another, you know, and so it's like trying to hold half a dozen beach balls underwater at once. Something always pops up, and that's the case with him. He came out here from Connecticut with his wife, got free, and is free today. Scott came to us. I actually went to speak to the nurses at Cedars-Sinai weight management program, and they all looked at each other and they said Scott, because they knew he couldn't do their program. They referred him to us. He lost about 300 pounds. He's thin still today and very successful in his career. I will say, the people who work with Roy, Roy's method, the Nelson method, is about dealing with the underlying causes. And that's why we work with so many addictions, different kinds, because it really doesn't matter what the addiction is. It's about what's going on underneath that's driving somebody to self-destruct. And so when you deal with the root causes, that self-hatred and all that pain and shame that somebody might have taken on as a child, when they deal with that and they're free in all ways, and they feel worthy of a good life. And that's why they start making more money. That's why their lives blossom. They lose relationships that are unhealthy, and they start gaining relationships that are healthy. So it's really, we're not just talking about addictions here, we're really talking about a life transformation. We have a book called Love Notes from Hell. This came out a couple years ago, and it really details Roy's own journey of healing close to 40 years ago, and the work that he does with other people. If you know somebody you think is hurting, you know, it's hard to go up to somebody and say, hey, I think you're addicted and I know the right person for you. But if you give them the book, just as an inspirational, it's a spiritual book, it's very, it's just a lovely read. If you give somebody the book just because they're interested in, you know, growth or spirituality or you know, a personal story, it could inspire them to want to meet Roy and meet me and learn more about our process. So just to let you guys know, this might be a way of giving us a tip, is to have our book to give to other people. I want to just mention that Kim Hamer, who's our new matchmaker in the group, you stand up, Kim. She's gone through our program as well and mentors with Roy as well. And if you want to learn about her story, please ask her. She's happy to share the details of it, but she is, I mean, just a beautiful breathing example of the work that we do. I want to open it up for any questions. Oh, and comments.
I have something to make. I read the book Love Notes from Hell from Roy Nelson. It's a great book and also a great gift to give to someone. Maybe it's the greatest gift ever give to a friend who is in need. So the book is in 3 parts: recognizing your problem, healing your problem, and talking about it, and the freedom, the last part, which is good. So I read it, I enjoyed it, and it helped my son a lot. It's about all kind of addiction: food addiction, sex addiction, alcoholism, drug addiction, addiction in general. And we all are in a way addicted to something. So I'm addicted to men.
I'll talk to you later. Miles.
Good morning, Dr. Miles Reed. I wanted to just give a little backup from a doctor's standpoint. I'm a physician trained, I practice here in West LA. And I sent Roy, one of my patients, like many patients that have gone through severe issues in their emotional life. She went through, you know, the more classic treatment programs and Western medicine and complementary therapies, and even was in a facility, in a treatment program in-house for actually like 3 months. And so she really was done with everything that the usual things that you think of to get treatment with can offer. And so I thought she was a good candidate, and she went through the process and actually worked with Roy. It's a very intensive 1-month program, daily working with them. And she was in severe depression, so his mother too was to be a very independent, successful woman, and she couldn't function. She was at a place where she just couldn't get up and do anything in life. She couldn't mother, she had a newborn. And truly, she was transformed in this program. I was very impressed. It gave her, 1 month, of course, you know, the end result, but it gave her a freedom to really start to get back to life. And then maintenance is obviously very important. But it truly is a program that can be of great help if you know anybody who's gone through what they can do and then they're not getting help. So they really go to the root of what the emotional causes.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we specialize in helping people who have tried lots of other things. It doesn't have to be that way, but usually, because our approach is alternative, we're not a typical treatment center. We work with one person at a time for 28 days straight without an interruption. That way we can do a deep dive with them and really they can go through our method and get amazing results. But if you know somebody who's kind of been in and out of 12-step programs or in and out of treatment centers, therapy, and they're just not getting where they need to go, or as I said, they've switched addictions, they've stopped one and started doing other ones, please have them talk to us. We have a very gentle conversation. We have somebody come over, if they're in the least bit interested, they'll come visit with us and we'll just have a nice afternoon of visiting, and then we can know if it's a fit for them and for us. So, Earl, question?
Besides just that you happen to know someone who has an issue personal, what's like a power lead for someone that would be there?
You just want to know it's a powered lead for us. The therapists who maybe work with addictions, people who are doctors are great as well. Anybody who interfaces with a lot of people in the health arena, obviously Miles, Susan Starler, different people. Yeah, Michael.
Criminal defense attorneys.
Oh, please. Criminal defense attorneys, absolutely. People dealing with alcohol and drug addiction often. Or drug addicts, yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Tricia.